Think of the word involvement. Think of all that's contained in that single word. Involved with your own life in so many ways, right? Think of all the mental involvement you have, both inside yourself and directed out toward the world. All the thousands of things that you think about all day long. Think about your own involvement with your surging and very often raging, right? Very often raging emotions. Like a flood that come over you. You're very much involved with your sensations and feelings, are you not? Look at the outer involvements too. With where you work, with the people you live with the conflicts, with the wishes you have that somehow that world out there wouldn't be so fierce to you. That you could be fully involved in this life without being so punished. Let me give you something to think about right now. Does it ever occur to you that the reason you're not getting along with yourself or with that society out there is because of your wrong involvements, and you are the cause of everything that starts within you that eventually goes out into the world, which are your involvements? I'm talking about you being a cause. You know what a cause is? An original force. Something that starts something. That goes out somewhere and causes a result somewhere, a consequence somewhere. Think of yourself then as being wrongly involved with the world because you started something wrong in the first place and you received back what you started. That's an old principle. Have you ever looked at it closely? Let's go into it very simply. You want to know why you get what you get? You get what you get because you give what you give. But you don't want to look too closely at that, do you? Because you have what is called beautiful paintings about yourself, which are all nonsense, of course, which are beautiful daydreams in which you project those out into the world and you wonder why the world doesn't give you back in kind. You say you're kindly and you're loving and you're gentle to people out there and you can't understand why they're so hostile. You know, I've told you many times, and I think it'd be a good idea to repeat it, that if the whole world out there, all 4 billion people and all the events of life, if all 4 billion people and 50 billion events surrounded you and clawed at you and roared at you, if you were a right person, you wouldn't feel a thing. There must be something wrong inside the individual mind that is looking out at that world and fearing it. And do you know, by the way, when you fear something and people know that you fear them, that's the invitation to the attack? Don't you know that your face is an invitation? Don't you know your hesitation, your lack of real strength is an invitation for the world to look at you and say, I wonder if she's ready to be taken. I wonder if he's ready to be attacked. You're the cause of all your problems, of all your difficulties, of all your sorrows. I'm talking about you individually. And this is what we can call, in the general word, our involvements toward life. Now, take a little closer look at your involvements with yourself. Look at all the secret, concealed emotions that you have, which immediately you feel them, you try to justify them and say they're okay because you've identified with them and you've taken them as being you, and because you can't bear to think that you, darling, you might be wrong, you okay everything that goes on inside of you, all the angers and all the paranoid suspicions, you okay them because you're afraid to make the simple statement, the simple admission, I am wrong. Now this is what is keeping you with a wrong involvement with the world out there, because if you were right inside, there would be just one world, and it would be a right world. If you were true, a true human being, true man, true woman, what would you, if you were true, listen to this, if you were fulfilled, if you were whole, if you were fully healed inside, what desperations would you have inside you that would cause a wrong involvement? There'd be no desperations at all, therefore no need to go out and seek. What are you seeking from the world? Why don't you think about that while I'm talking a little bit? What are you seeking out there, shall I tell you? Approval, someone to like you. We'll get to that a little bit later. For now, why are you looking to the outer world for anything at all? Look, do you understand that you don't have anything valuable inside of you? Why do you think the other person has anything to give you? Why do you attribute virtue and strength and kindness and love to other people when you know yourself you have none at all? Ah, but you don't know that. You don't want to know that. You want to idealize your own system and say you're all right, you're fine, you're kindly, you're considerate. And so you project that phoniness out into the world and you say that man is as gentle as I am. And about what, ladies? 3 weeks of marriage? You wonder how you could have made such a dreadful mistake, how you could have been so stupid. You could have avoided it had you known you were stupid 3 weeks earlier.